I've been on board a direct ally to our local unions. I actually belonged to UFCW Local 227 when I worked at Swift Meatpacking. I support union jobs, even when they don't support progressive Black women. Even if we don't have to say progressive, really good Black women candidates like myself are rarely endorsed by unions. I'm glad to see the support that Couture Heron is getting, but many of us, like myself, Representative Scott, who've traveled all over this state, who've traveled all over this nation to support our unions. I've even was brought down to Orlando by unions to talk to them about the fast track that they were bringing. And they asked me, how do you get your things to work in Kentucky? I said, nothing happens without coalitions. Unions should be fostering more coalition, more real relationships with small businesses. Even with this campaign, I spend with local businesses and union businesses first. And then those who aren't unionized, I talk to them about how we can work together so that you can keep your union dues even when it's not election season. See, right now, there's millions of dollars coming through our city for campaigns, but who's really spending the money with the local small businesses? I am. Every dollar we spend in this campaign goes back into our city. I don't outsource anything because we have what we need right here. And how can I run on being different if I'm not practicing that? I was disheartened to see that our union supported a candidate who actively took 5 donations from the Waltons. I've been to DC with our unions in support and with Kentucky Jobs with Justice to go to DC to protest against some of the bills that they were proposing for Walmart, where they put the big parking lot in front and put the store in the back, and how it's not conducive to the communities that they're going in. I'm all for jobs and creations, but we all know that Walmarts dry out the businesses that are in a 3-mile radius from where they're placed. So as we talked about putting a Walmart at that 18th Street corridor, that building design and how we do that is so important. And I remember being in meetings years and years ago, back when the Urban League hosted meetings on what to do with that 18th Street corridor, and all of the changes and all the things that we've talked about. And all those tables, there were union leaders. I support them. I think there should be more diversity in the leadership. I think there should be more apprenticeship. When Reverend Coleman would call on me, he was the main person that was pressing for unions to diversify and to make sure that they were offering more trainings for people in the community. See, people got to get away from this notion that communities don't want something shiny and new. They just want to know they got a part in it. They want to know that your sustainable redevelopment includes them. They want to know that the jobs that you're offering includes livable wages. They want to know that if they lack asbestos training, that you don't just say you're going to have a certain MBE, but then you bring in somebody from out of state to do that, when you can spend the time and invest up front and train the community people to be a part of what you're building. I mean, when you think about even how civilizations began, they didn't outsource. They built from the people who were there. And we got an opportunity to have a real livable wage. And I practice that. Even though Harley, I haven't gotten the endorsements yet of some of the unions because they're figuring out their process. Some of them were even honest with me and said, Shameka, I'm gonna be honest, our process hasn't been fair. When we heard David James was running, even though he announced months after I did, we went ahead and gave him a check. And then some of them have rolled David James's endorsements over to Greenberg, which is not fair. That's not fair if you haven't given people due diligence, the due process to understand what you need. I'm tired of the one-dimensional, same old, same old. This is what we do. This is our $1 million candidate, and this is what we do. We have to move past that. And that's why activating the people power, which include a great deal of union members who have contacted me and said, I'm sorry, I know my union chose to do this, but here's what I'm choosing to do. Those are the people that I'm talking to. Those are the people that I'm trying to motivate to get to the polls. And those are the people who I want to support in union leadership so that they can elevate and know when somebody's running for leadership positions in their unions, I support that. They ask me my ideas, even though I'm not in their union, I give them ideas on how to talk to their membership. So I'm sad that our unions are doing some of the same old, same old. I'm representing something different, and I'm not going to turn their back on them, even if they don't endorse me. Once I win, I'm still going to have those unions at the table with me and their membership and helping us make decisions on governance contracts, on maintenance contracts, on new builds. I don't want nothing built in this city without a livable wage, without union leadership, without union members, and I want to make sure the community actually have jobs with those unions. So what I will push on them is to make sure that all of their trainings include people from the community so that they can benefit from the union jobs. And last, I will say on our campaign, We pay everybody that is in a paying position $25 an hour as a livable wage. We work hard, and the money sometimes comes slow, but we make sure that we look out for our people working on the team, because I don't want to run on one thing and I'm not practicing it. I'm practicing this with my team already so that our administration can represent that. Louisville Metro has over 6,000 employees. The police are just around 2,000. The rest of those folks are people who provide your services, your clean your streets, who pick up your garbage, who you talk to when you need to get something done. I want to take care of them so they can be better about taking care of us, and they want to, but they're overlooked. There's so much nepotism and corruption. And that's why I'm saying somebody who's been a part of that same old system has already been in charge. So these status quo candidates are not going to bring you something different. You need somebody that doesn't have that steering wheel in their back. I'm the cleanest slate you're going to get for union endorsements, for union jobs, for union leadership, for union inclusion and contracts and things like that, and negotiations, all of that. I'm for all of that. And I will support that, and I will stand on that. And when they call on me, I will still be there, whether they endorse me or not.